Today has been very, very eventful. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How you guys doing? Hope all is well with everyone. Today was such a busy day, but good evening, good evening, good evening. I definitely have a glass here for wanting FaceTime tonight. Tonight, I definitely want to catch up on the documentaries. Last week, I had a family emergency. I couldn't log in for wanting FaceTime. Something personal came up, and I wanted to talk about the Bill Cosby documentary at that point. After you guys, did you see it? What you thought about it? Et cetera, et cetera. Since then, I've seen another documentary. It was on Netflix, and it's by Kanye West, and it's called Genius, I believe. And it was such a really good documentary. But I definitely want to go back to last week's Wine and FaceTime where I missed it, and I didn't get a chance to talk about everything I want to talk about. But good evening, good evening, good evening. Hope all is well to everyone. Shout out to everyone who's having a good, safe weekend. Everyone who's in the house, out of trouble, out of the streets. It's really dangerous outside. Especially in the metropolitan area. It's just a lot going on. So good evening. Hope you guys are all safe and well. It's Kashel Fit here. Hi, Mr. Jose Negron. How are you? Can you send me the link to that video again? I copied it from your page, but I don't know. For some reason, I wanted to try to use it in a different way if it was okay with you. But thank you for logging in. I had a great day. I had a 3-hour conference I did this afternoon between 3.5 hours. Between 1 and 3:30 today, or 4:30ish. I was on a platform called Lead Within Team Project Management, and I presented my idea as a creator and as an entrepreneur. No problem. Thank you, Jose. I created a business idea as an entrepreneur and a creator, and I was able to speak my idea to some stakeholders who believe in what I'm doing. And I presented an idea for myself and my business. You guys know my business as KFITNOW. And I spoke about a process of a project I'm thinking about doing called We Fit Now, which will be a fitness app for all of my followers and members who want to work out with me and do Zooms with me and conference calls and consults and meal plans and all that other good stuff. So that was great. I got a lot of prizes. Some of my stakeholders came through and showed me love and participated and took some great photos of me. I did a really good job presenting my piece. And at the end of the day, I was able to get promoted and graduate to the planning phase of my project. So now I'll be planning the physical project of We Fit Now, which is again a fitness app. And I don't want to give so much tea about it, but that's how a part of my day was. So really excited for that, very happy for that. And looking to networking with more people in the entrepreneurship lane of business, to help me grow and understand and learn and, figure out things I need to figure out as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as a YouTube channel creator, all those other good things. So that was great for me. You guys can definitely see some photos and videos of that coming soon on my social media. So if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I'll definitely be dropping some videos or photos of some snippets of that event today. I don't have any full coverage really from the creator itself right now, but I did ask for it. So, not sure when I'll get that or if I even have that yet. So thank you guys for joining me. Definitely have my little glass here. Of course, all the time, love your channel, support your channel, you definitely motivate me and inspire me, Mr. Negron. On Common Sense with Jose Negron is a great channel, and I definitely can learn from you. And I'm pretty sure there's some things you can learn from me, whether from my channel or from another platform I utilize. So always a pleasure, Mr. Negron. So guys, the Bill Cosby, let's talk about Bill. It was such a long documentary series. In addition to it being a long documentary series, I found it very interesting that the documentary series dropped during Black History Month. It was a documentary series that I was not prepared for. I was not ready for. I did not like the things I heard about what they said Bill Cosby did in the documentary, but I had to be a realistic person with myself and realize that if there was this many people coming through from, evidence and stories and history, that there were good chances that, this was not made up. And it was way too many people at this point that said the same thing, consistent with, allegedly what happened with them and as a result of being with Bill Cosby. So it really hurt. It hit close to home because as an African American woman in New York City, living in minority poverty areas for the most part of my life, and not having a silver spoon type of situation throughout my lifestyle, my lifetime, it was like, wow, this can't be true. With all the people who have these same allegations, going through these same situations, it can't be another man that the world idolized in some way being accused of something so crazy, and it really being realistic that he did these things. And again, I don't know any of the women. Doesn't matter if I know any of the women. The whole fact is there's a lot of facts and proof and witnesses and data that says yes, these things did happen. So it was like woosah just watching the documentary. It was really, really saddening for me. It definitely took me back to my own trials and tribulations, being molested as a child, by someone I knew in the household that I couldn't share my story with. I had to like keep it a secret, or I felt I needed to keep it a secret. And I did for a while. When I finally did speak up about it, it was still an uncomfortable, frightening thing for me. So, I can't pass judgment on any of these women. That's the point I want to make, because I can relate to some of them in some ways, but not all. But, at the end of the day, you can't tell someone when they should and should not speak up in a situation like that. You cannot tell someone when and when not to express their feelings and emotions in that situation. You can't force someone to get help in that situation. You got to just let the person process and hope they get help and figure out the way they need to move on with the process of their lives. But again, going back strictly to the documentary about Let's Talk About Bill that's on cable right now, I think it's on Showtime. It was really hurting and hard to see and digest and swallow, and know that these kind of things happen when people of different status and stature and money classifications have power that other people don't. So, not to say that everyone gets away with murder. Exactly. Like, all the people that get away with murder, sometimes they get away with murder because of who they are. And, the judicial system and the justice system is just so all over the place right now. It's just hard for victims, it's hard for, predators, it's easy for predators, it's just so much, because it's to the point now that we have people who say they are victims pretending to be victims, and they're not victims, and they're getting people in jail who don't deserve to be in jail, and vice versa. When it's a real victim that needs help, she doesn't get help, or he doesn't get help. So it's so much going on. There's so many gray areas and fine lines and scopes, and I know the world is trying to do its best to make sure everyone gets the proper right, charges and penalties and punishments for whatever crimes they're committing across the board. But I know for now in 2022, we definitely, our laws and judicial system and government and court system is not really relevant with today's times and crimes. From what I can see, we have social media crimes and threats and stuff, and there's no really laws that really protect social media crimes. You know what I'm saying? So the judicial system and law and courts and order, has a lot to do to catch up to the modern day crimes, that's going on, and hate crimes and all these other kind of crimes, and racism and discrimination that's still going on. Like, there's so much that needs to be caught up and elevated to make sense for today's times, and that's just not relevant. And I don't want to get too much deep into times and law and justice and statutes and simulations and court appearances and stuff like that, because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legal assistant. I'm not passionate about pursuing law in any way like that. But relevant to the documentary of Let's Talk About Bill that aired on cable, it was just hard and sad to digest as a black girl, because again, I did look up to people like Bill Cosby, Fat Albert, the Cosby Show, the Jello commercials, the black male father role figure in the household that many girls like myself didn't have growing up. I looked up to that, not saying that I want him to be my dad, but I liked the things he did, and it was okay to like the things he did. And then it gets to a conversation and situation of, do you like the person for their craft only, or do you like them for who they are? And can you separate the two? So a lot of people can't separate the two. Like, they can't separate the two with R. Kelly. They can't separate the two with Jeffrey Epstein or Harvey Weinstein or any of these other people that were, committed of these same crimes or situations. Some people can't separate the two. Some people still love their music and their craft and their movies and, the way they think and whatever they're famous for. And they can't, say, I don't want to support them anymore. I don't want to watch their movies anymore. I don't want to listen to their music anymore. I don't want to believe. Some people find it really hard to do that. So for me, I'm gonna be one of those people, finding it really difficult to say I don't want to watch the Cosby Show anymore, or I don't want to eat, watch Fat Albert anymore, because for me, it's just like I'm in shock. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe this really happened. Like, this is really real. Like, when I heard these things, I was a kid, 39 years old now. So I kind of grew through this time frame. I was kind of a baby during, all these times he was, accused of these things and a young adult. So, I wasn't really focused on Bill Cosby as these things came up. I had my own life, mother, children, college, school, work, being a union person, being a girlfriend or whatever the situation was. So, I wasn't focused on exactly everything what was happening with Bill Cosby at the time. But now that, we're at the point where he's released and now there's this documentary out, yeah, it's just like, wow, all that happened, all that was going on, and we really didn't pay any attention to it. Like, that's crazy. So it's like, wow, it just sucks. It's sad. It's just like deep black girl sigh. All of our heroes are taken from us in some way, shape, or form. It seems like all of the people we want to believe in, the people that we have hope for that can have change, all the people that we feel like our leaders or mentors, something devastating always happens that pops the bubble in those people that are important for Black culture and Black community and Black families. And it just sucks. It's like, who do you really have? And as a Black person in Black culture, sometimes we depend too much on one person to make a change for the entire race. And I'm going to say that, and people probably not going to like that. And for some of us, we just feel like we don't need all of that. We can do it individually and, come collectively. And sometimes that seems like that's not even realistic. So the moral of this is, I've seen the documentary. I hate it, what they said, but I was happy and grateful in some ways to see that they did give him his flowers despite, all the negative that, he was accused of and proven of, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So with all of that, it just brings me to the next documentary that I want to talk about that I just recently saw on Netflix, and it's by a rapper called Kanye West from Chicago, and it's called Gene. Yes. It was on Netflix. It's currently on right now. This just dropped, I think, yesterday. Super juicy, super good. Definitely speaking of a Black man from, a passionate one family household, no dad in the household situation, who had a loving, caring mother that supported his dreams and aspirations all the way up until her death. And just shows you the support some people are gifted with, when they come into this world as a person. We don't all get a mother and a father in a household. We don't all get a good mother and father in a household. We don't all get an attentive mother and father in a household. We don't all get, like the best mother and the best father. Sometimes we're dealt different hands of cards where, there's abuse involved, there's drugs involved, there's absentee involved, there's lack of money involved. There's so many different situations that happens for many of us in the Black and brown Latino communities. And during Black History Month, it's just so sad to hear these negative things go on, and happen and continue and resurface in people's documentaries and stories. But again, sticking on task with Kanye West, he had a very supportive mother, and she was supportive up until her death with her son because she believed in his dreams and admirations. And in the documentary, you can see she did. She didn't give up on him, not once, not ever. She helped him all the way through, and you can see that love and support and confidence in this man from then to now. And hence why we see he act the way he act right now. I guess some people say he's an idiot, he's an a-hole, he's crazy, he's stupid, he's psycho. No judgment on him, as far as me calling him anything negative, but to say that it was a great documentary on Netflix that he just dropped. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. Even if you're not into hip hop and R&B, just to see the love and affection and attention he had from his mom without a father, to, building him up, to branding him to be the confident man he was then to now, to never say no, to never accept the closed doors, to never accept negativity, to never accept he can't, to never accept, it's over. He was very ambitious and motivated and cocky with his ways on getting attention, but it worked. And he had a lot of motivation for one purpose specifically, and he got that opportunity, but then ended up losing it. So at the end of the day, it was a great documentary to show you how different mindsets and family members are grown up and people are guided and molded from birth to adulthood, especially those aspiring rappers, singers, models, politicians, activists, bloggers, vloggers, researchers, all these, top celebrity, top five people who we all worship or idolize or watch their TV or films or movies or shows. all these people that fit into those categories. Some of them have amazing stories that sound just like us. And we all don't get that immediate support in the household from day one to be just as ambitious and motivated as some of these people that, have made it, so to say. So I say all that to say, I think that these documentaries that have been dropping recently on Netflix and cable and all these different apps like Pluto and Peacock and Hulu and all these other ones, they have been really inspiring, really motivating, and really interesting because it lets you know that we're all connected, we're all the same, we all have the same similar stories, and we're not alone. We just have different ways of expressing our feelings. And some of us don't. We bottle it and we keep it in. We don't share. We don't care. And we grow different attitudes and skins and scales and boundaries and molds from it all. And with all of that, takes it back to wellness for me, how we think, how we process the mental, the physical, the emotional, how we carry it, how we change it, how we, possibly bring it from generation to generation. And, how negative that can be if you don't get a hold of it and acknowledge it and try to fix it before it's too late. How that can make you spiral into things like depression and sadness and suicide and so many other things that you don't see initially, but it can become and unfold all those things. So again, I use Wine and FaceTime all the time as a platform to discuss things that I'm interested in, I care about, things I don't understand, things I want to know more about, things that bother me, to get advice and feedback from people that I don't know, that again I can get to know and brand and build a network with, that can support me and I can support them, and I can learn from, because I'm at the learnable, teachable, approachable phase of my life where that's where I want to be to get to where I'm trying to go. So for me tonight, this is going to be a short wine and FaceTime. My battery's dying. I don't know where my charger is at hand, and I don't want to mess up the video looking for a charger and plug it in. That sounds really tacky to me. But it was great catching up with you guys, spilling the tea on the documentary series and all the things I wanted to talk about and catch up with. I'll definitely be sharing more information with you about what's been going on behind the scenes outside of wine and FaceTime and fitness and nutrition. You should have seen some videos I've dropped recently on my social media regarding an interview here on YouTube with Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, also known as Cutie NY on social media, as well as, a new graduation I just dropped today from Sharon Leading Within for the team project management thing I've been doing, bringing in a new app, as I said early enough in the segment, We Fit Now, and all the positive things have been coming my way. So stay tuned for all those good things. I'll catch you guys next Saturday at 8. Take care. Be safe. Mask up. Wash your hands. Social distance. No matter what the government and CDC try to say, do whatever makes you feel good. Whatever keeps you in the loop. And yes, thank you, Jose Negron, for chiming in with me, checking in, seeing what I'm talking about, giving me some feedback and seeing love. I really, really appreciate that. Good night. Take care. Hope all is well with you. Be safe, and I'll be checking around with you soon. To everyone else, it has been real. Talk to you soon. Have a good night. Peace out.